Well, first, before I get started, there is an announcement, and I should speak this into the speakers. There is a car with mass plates that needs to be moved from the parking lot from the office. But I think we'll get the numbers later, but I believe this might be the biggest libertarian event of this year in the entire world. And courage is about not always making the immediate calculations of risk and benefit all the time. It's about saying there is a certain line, there is a certain principle of right, and I'm going to stand up for that no matter what the costs. It means fighting on for the right even when hope fails. And that's really kind of an ancient ideal that perhaps in our society has been a little bit lost. And I think to some extent in the freedom community has been a little bit lost. But not among you here. All of you here, by signing up for the Free State Project, you've taken an act of courage. You've taken a stand on principle. You said, no matter what the risks, I'm really willing to stand up for freedom. And whatever we try to do in the Free State Project to minimize those risks, there are always going to be some. As Dave Vincent says, you really have to be just a little bit crazy to move to New Hampshire and pick up everything you do. And that's true. There has to be some idealism. It can't just be, how can I maximize my portfolio and that kind of logic.
Whenever someone asked me about the war in Iraq, the rhetoric that I would use was that the Second World War has been over with for over 50 years, and we still do not have an exit strategy for Germany, Japan, and Korea. I do absolutely intend to come to New Hampshire. My mother read about the Free State Project just after we voted and chose New Hampshire. It was printed in one of the local papers. And my mom called, and she's all excited. She goes, I know you are going to love this. She goes, there's a group of people, and they're voting, and they're all going to move to New Hampshire. And I bet you didn't know about that. And I said, well, Mom, I was one of the people who voted. And she was stunned. And she said, I thought you hate snow and cold. And I said, I do. And she goes, I thought you loved Texas. I said, I do. And she goes, why would you move to New Hampshire? I said, because I love liberty more. And when I come, I will be armed. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Please know that no matter what happens, as long as I am able to take a breath, I will be out there lighting the fires of liberty for you. Thank you.
We also went to Buenos Aires last year. We were there for the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, where we had 2 weeks of some of the most fun we've ever had. As a matter of fact, in their eco-newsletter that they distribute at United Nations events, they said that they were subject to a, quote, unprecedented level of sabotage, which we can directly take credit for. Currently, right now, we have going on, our big thing is our Crash Across America. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the Bureaucrash RV up there. The Bureaucrash RV is officially titled MARV. It stands for Mobile Authority Resistance Vehicle. And their goal is to hit all 50 states and break stupid laws in every state. For example, so far in New Jersey, they pumped gas and they slurped soup, both of which are legal there. In Baltimore, they cursed in public, which is also illegal there. Some stuff we've got going on in the future. This year, we intend to do a Social Security protest in Washington, D.C., wherein we will have an old person standing on some kind of sleigh or platform, and he will be carrying a whip, and he will be dragged up to the AARP building by a bunch of students in chains. absolutely. I mean, our free trade fair trade soda stand that we did in Cancun was broken down early because people started making a circle around the Bureaucrash protesters, you know, carrying heavy objects. So certainly at that point, we'll skedaddle. I mean, we believe in what we believe in, but not to the point where we're willing to get beat up or we're willing to get arrested. And that's a very, very important thing that differentiates us from the protesters out there. I mean, people are getting really, really tired of hearing stuff like this.
You know, it's interesting hearing about this Free State Project. Are you sure it's legal? I mean, I was really impressed. I was driving up from Manchester and on the interstate, and I was impressed that the rest areas of the interstate have liquor stores. You know, I've never seen that before. You know, I said, no, this is, you know, maybe I was wrong about New Hampshire. Hopefully, with the Free State Project, it can focus people, get a more realistic attitude on government, and help people stop seeing government as a savior. Because that's a major problem in the post-9/11 era. Government had the biggest screw-up in modern, biggest law enforcement done in screw-ups since Pearl Harbor, and people deified the government. People made a hero of George Bush. It was nonsense, and unless we get this turned around, everything is lost. So, anyhow, it's interesting that people still have hope that the next president is going to be good and honest. I mean, it's like people are incorrigible. I'm surprised at how dark the public dialogue has already become, and how much more venomous it may be. So, I mean, I've gotten a lot of email from the last couple of books, and I've actually posted some of it on the web because it's entertaining, because it's both full of hatred and very illiterate. Because folks, people that get a certain level of hatred don't use spell checkers. So, but I don't know. What's that? Well, yeah, that's true. One more question. One more question. Going once, one twice. So, gone.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Michael, Badnarik, Heather Talley, Dr. Laura, and all of you, I appreciate it. And I hope to see all of you and your 10 best friends next year at the 2006 Porcupine Freedom Festival. Get in your cars, go to Plymouth and see Dr. Ron Paul. Have a good night.